And finally, we will pass the Save America Act to defend our sacred American elections. Because all voters must have photo ID, and all voters must provide proof of citizenship. Have to do it. We have to do it. And mail-in ballots, we're going to make them so secure you have no idea. If you want to stay home, you can do it, but we got to make them secure because they are crooked as hell. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. Look, they always could nuke the filibuster and get the Save America Act passed. They just choose not to. And frankly, it's inexplicable to me. Overwhelming majorities of American voters say they want people to show a photo ID when they vote. This is not a Republican issue. This is not a Democratic issue. This is not a black issue or a white issue. It's not a male issue or a female issue. Everyone agrees with it. So the Senate's unwillingness to put this forward is egregious, which is why I've made a statement that I'm not voting for any Senate bills until they pass the Save America Act. And frankly, it is a commitment I have lived up to for the past several months, and I will continue to until they get that bill passed.
Welcome, friends. I am so very glad you could join me today. If you love this great country as much as I do, please take a quick second to hit that like button, share this message with your family and friends, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps this old-timer get the good word out to more folks. Now get comfortable and settle in, because I have a very special, heartwarming story to share with you right now.
The Save America Act. Everybody wants it. Everybody is it, including Democrats. 87% of Democrats want it. Not the leaders, because they want to cheat. Their policy is so bad, they're unelectable.
It's just the latest example in New Jersey a few weeks back. Remember, they voluntarily told us they found 6,600 non-citizens registered to vote in that state. The administration found over 250,000 non-citizens registered to vote in 4 states, across 4 states. So this is a serious problem. Election integrity is a top priority and issue for the president, for Republicans. We can't get a single Democrat in Congress, Kaylee, to vote for election integrity. So we passed the Save America Act 4 times in the House now, for those who are keeping count. The last version we sent over on a budget resolution for a reconciliation bill to the Senate, and I'm very hopeful they'll process that very quickly, because we added election integrity, the Save America Act, with some funding for troops and farmers. I don't think anybody who has common sense can vote against that, and we're awaiting the Senate's action so we can move it and get it to the president's desk.
Final question.
Thank you so much for having me, Kaylee. And first of all, the next senator will replace Lindsey Graham, who's been an icon. I'm here to announce that I will be a candidate for the Senate. I'll be throwing my hat in the ring. And, you know, day one, Kaylee, I will be laser focused on passing President Trump's America First. And it starts with the Save America Act. We'll nuke the filibuster. And I will be a vocal vote and a supporter to make this happen. And it's not happening in the Senate right now. That's why I'm doing it.
Well, that's welcome news, I know, to our audience. They are all for nuking the filibuster. We hear from them often, and the Save America Act.
Said earlier, I'm willing to stay through recess to get it done. What's up with recess anyway? Who gets a month off from work? I think we should stay up there and work and get it done. You have to have an ID to check out a library book, to buy alcohol. You don't have to have an ID to vote. That's absurd. In New Jersey, they had 6,600 people, non-citizens registered to vote, and several hundred of them did vote in our election. And I am all for, this is where I differ from my brother, getting rid of the filibuster to get this done, because eventually the Democrats are going to get rid of it anyway.
All right, our next question comes
Well, absolutely. I'll give you two options. Number one, we put Save America in the reconciliation bill that we sent to the Senate. That would only take 50 votes. So there's one way to get it done. And here's another way. We attached the Save America Act to something even more popular, the idea that members of Congress can't insider trade. And when we did that, we not only got every Republican vote, we got a dozen Democratic votes in the House. It was the first time we've ever seen a Democrat vote for Save America. So maybe that's what they try in the Senate. Do you can't insider trade plus Save America. There's two paths to get the job done. The point is they just need to pick one and do whatever it takes to get it done.
Okay.
Folks, pull up a cozy chair and listen close, because what we are seeing right now is the kind of moment that makes an old patriot's heart swell with pure joy. I am talking about our 45th and 47th president, Donald Trump. Standing tall for the American people, he is fighting for honest elections and for the simple truth that this great nation of ours deserves the absolute best. You see, the right to vote is the true heartbeat of our American republic. It is the sacred, special voice of the everyday citizen. Sometimes, a leader's strongest, most fiery words come from their very deepest love for their country. Just recently, President Trump shared a powerful message that cut right through all the loud, confusing noise in Washington. He pointed straight to a very interesting story. Over in India, a country halfway across the world, they recently held a massive election. We are talking about hundreds of millions of people voting, more people than you can even picture in your mind. When one of India's top election officials looked at how we do things here, he asked a very plain, honest question. He wondered how the United States could run national elections without asking every single person for a valid photo ID. Now, just think about that for a second, my friends. In India, almost every single one of those millions of voters had to show a picture ID to prove exactly who they were. No excuses, no shortcuts. Just simple fairness. And here we are in America, the greatest country on God's green earth, still fighting to make sure that basic protection is used everywhere. President Trump did not hold back when he pointed this out. He spoke up loud and clear because he cares deeply about defending our beautiful American dream. He said we need to pass a wonderful bill called the Save America Act right away. That is a very simple rule requiring proof of citizenship and a photo ID when you cast your ballot. It is pure common sense. It is the exact same thing you do when you cash a check at the bank, aboard an airplane, or even pick up a package at the post office. This is not just a quiet suggestion from our president. No, sir. Trump pointed to India to show the world that keeping elections completely clean and fair is entirely possible, no matter how big the country is. He put a bright, shining spotlight right on the Senate leadership in Washington. He looked straight at leaders like John Thune and demanded real action. He told them to stop making excuses, stop delaying, and protect our voices. Leaving our elections open to mistakes is simply not acceptable to him. That is bold, honest leadership. Knowing that we have a president who will not back down gives so much hope to families sitting around their dinner tables. Tonight, it reminds us that our voices truly matter, and it warms my heart to see someone fighting so hard for everyday Americans like you and me.
Eventually, because eventually they will take control of the Senate and the House again. They're going to remove it anyways. And I think right now that Thune has been trying to get the American people off his back for not doing anything about voter ID, doing nothing about Save America Act. And now, Kaylee, look, I know that you're a mom, I'm a mom. He wants to put pesticide liability protections back into the Farm Bill and send it back over to the House. That is not what we voted for. That is not what the American people want. We want MAGA, we want MAGA, we want President Trump's agenda to be passed through, and he's blocking it. So, yeah, remove the filibuster. Do your job. Otherwise, every single piece of legislation, John, that you send over to the House will die in the House. We will kill it. It will not happen.
Yeah, the Save America Act, I mean, we've been on this. It's week 17 that I've been asking for this. That's voter ID check. That's citizenship. I thought we were promised a vote on it. I mean, you've been fighting for this, but where is that vote?
Yeah, we were promised to vote on it in the Senate. He never did it. He said that the Senate didn't have time. Remember, this is John Thune saying it. He's saying that it's not a priority. And now we're hearing that the Senate wants to send a housing bill down to the House. It's not going to pass. We're going to kill it. And again, you know, I think Speaker Johnson, too, even on FISA, that's going to be up here in the next, I think, 30-something days. And we want voter ID. We want Save America on FISA. And so we'll have that fight again. Let's see what happens. But look, if we don't pass that, I don't expect the American people to be happy with the Senate and happy with us in the midterms. But I am still hoping that John Thune will do the right thing and listen to what you're saying, listen to what the American people want, and do his job. Otherwise, I think you should call his office and tell him how you feel. I know that he doesn't like that, and so let's put the pressure where it belongs.
Those pesky calls from those constituents. All right, Anna Paulina Luna, keep fighting the good fight.
You read recently in New Jersey where tremendous numbers of people were found out that they were on the voter rolls totally illegally, and that's all over the country. That's nothing compared to what's going on in California and Minnesota and so many other states. And hopefully there will be no mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt, except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel. If you're in the military, you're far away, absolutely. If you have to go someplace, absolutely. But mail-in ballots have proven to be a disaster. We're the only country in the world that in this form does them. There's no other country in the world because they're crooked. They pass through too many hands. When you go to a voter booth, even me, I went to vote. Sir, may I please see your identification? Sir, I'm so embarrassed.
Hello. Here.
Have you voted here before?
No.
No. Okay, well, go down to where it says voting, take a right, and they'll help you out in there. Hello.
Hello.
Register over there.
Hello, what is your last name? Is that and what is your first name?
Genevieve.
Genevieve?
And vouch.
I'm sorry?
Vouch.
She's vouching?
I vouch.
Oh, for her? And is she Genevieve?
No.
So are you wanting to vote first?
You're gonna have to make a phone call.
Yes. But can she vote if I vouch?
Okay. I'm trying to get no, good luck.
Does she live within this precinct?
Yes.
Yep, we can get her registered. Okay. So are you wanting to vote first though?
Yes, but vouch for her.
Okay.
So she vote. So if I vouch, she vote?
Okay.
Hi.
Is that right?
Yep.
Can I vote without ID?
Yes, if you're already in the system,
Okay. Okay.
then you can vote.
Ooh.
If you're already in the system.
Hold on, I just need to point this out. I walked into this polling station with a random name of a random person who is registered to vote in this precinct. I am not that person. Here I am in full niqab, and this poll worker was prepared to allow me to fraudulently vote in that person's name without verifying that I'm that person. They don't need ID from me. They don't need to prove that I actually am Genevieve. They were just going to allow me to vote. They might have had me sign an affidavit, but nobody's going to check those affidavits. And even if they did, there's no way to prove Genevieve didn't sign it and that it was rather me.
I move to adjourn pursuant to the previous order.
The question's on the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. No. The ayes have it. The motion's agreed to.
Thanks for your help, buddy. Thank you.
I have lived a good, long life, my friends. I have watched this beautiful country through its bright sunshine and its heavy storms. And I can tell you right from the bottom of my heart that trusting our elections is the very rock this whole nation is built upon. Think back to our founding fathers for a moment. They were incredibly brave. They did not risk everything they had just so our voting process could be confusing or messy. They built a beautiful system where the voices of real everyday citizens would guide the way. Over the years, we have heard too many stories about mixed up rules and questions about who is really casting a ballot. President Trump has been fighting against that confusion from his very first day. He stood up strong to ask questions, and he never backed down, now serving as our president once again. He is turning that brave fight into real, positive action with the Save America Act. This is what it truly means to put America first. It is all about taking care of the wonderful people who make this country hum it. I am talking about the factory worker in Ohio who has proudly packed his lunchbox every single morning for 30 years. I am talking about the hardworking farmer in Iowa who is out in the fields before the sun even peeks over the horizon, growing the food that feeds our families. And I am thinking of the sweet young mother in Texas, teaching her little ones to put their hands over their hearts when our bright flag goes by. These are good, honest folks who always play by the rules. We all show our picture ID at the bank to protect our money, at the airport to travel safely, and even at the store. Why shouldn't something as precious and important as voting be protected in the exact same way? President Trump understands this deep down in his bones. He is not a career politician hiding behind fancy, confusing words. He is a fighter who looks out for the everyday American who just wants a fair shake. Just the other day, I was talking to a dear friend of mine, a retired steelworker from Pennsylvania. He told me, when I heard the president talk about how India checked the IDs of hundreds of millions of people so easily, it made so much sense. If they could do it for that many folks, why can't we? His wonderful wife helps out at their local voting place every time there is an election. And she sees the honest confusion with her own 2 eyes. And they are certainly not alone in feeling this way. Down in sunny Florida, a small business owner told me that having secure, safe elections gives him a warm feeling of hope. It lets him know his vote will count just as much as anyone else's. Up in Michigan, a brave young man who just came home from serving in the military said President Trump's strong leadership reminds him exactly why he wore the uniform. He served to protect the country where the people's voice is pure, safe, and perfectly protected. That is a truly beautiful thing, isn't it?
Well, if you're all in the same precinct,
Yes.
and you are already registered, which looks like you are, then you can vouch for them as ID for them.
Oh, good.
She says to me, I say they do not need ID. She says, you are the ID.
He is the ID.
See, I am the ID.
And no ID needed. I just vouch for them.
Well,
It's
you're
good.
the ID.
I am the ID. It's good. How many people may I vouch for?
It's
8?
I thought it was 6.
I can vouch for 8 people? 8 people, no ID. We come right back. Thank you.
Most poll workers we visited were willing to let us vouch with no questions asked, even when presented with the most absurd situation imaginable, while other poll workers did take issue with our investigation, revealing their awareness that something about this vouching system.
And finally, we will pass the Save America Act to defend our sacred American elections. Because all voters must have photo ID, and all voters must provide proof of citizenship. Have to do it. We have to do it. And mail-in ballots, we're going to make them so secure you have no idea. If you want to stay home, you can do it, but we got to make them secure because they are crooked as hell. So thank you. Thank you very much.
America First agenda, and finally secure our nation's elections by passing the Save America Act. I've taken on Big Food and Big Pharma as Attorney General, and I'm going to continue doing that in the Senate because making America healthy again is critical for our nation's future. As Attorney General, I've sued some of the largest companies in the world like Netflix,
You could count on it. You could set your clocks by it. And by the way, speaking of that, let's get rid of daylight saving time stuff, okay? We have a bill in. Hopefully the Senate's going to approve that one. The House approved it, and we're going to get rid of that. Just to mention, it's called the weave, right? We always get back to the right subject. But anyway, I did. I had a father, his luxury.
Remember that the original Save America Act, the one that was passed by the House of Representatives, does have simple majority support in the Senate. Now, while that's true, we're 10 votes shy of cloture, of forcing debate to a close. That doesn't mean that we couldn't pass it. There are a couple ways to get there. One would be nuking the filibuster, as you pointed out, that appears not likely to happen. But the other way is to exhaust the other side, to continue to debate the bill until it passes. This was a common procedure in the Senate for most of its existence. It needs to be used from time to time in situations like this one. Look, the American people overwhelmingly support this, Republicans, Democrats alike. We're talking about 3 out of 4 Americans, regardless of political party, want to make it easy to vote, hard to cheat. That's what the House-passed Save America Act does, and the Senate needs to be willing to do the hard work to make sure that that happens. If we put it on the floor tomorrow and we announce that we're going to debate it until it passes, I'm confident that we can get there.
Okay, so
This beautiful push for the Save America Act is about so much more than just one piece of paper or one simple rule. It is about a grand, bright vision for our entire nation. When we talk about putting America first, we are talking about safe neighborhoods, good jobs, and most importantly, a voting system you can trust with your whole entire heart. President Trump is reminding the whole world that the United States of America does not ever settle for second best. When that election official from India pointed out the difference in our systems, our president used that truth to demand better for us. That is the kind of leadership that lifts everyone up and makes you proud. I remember the immense pride I felt watching President Trump take the oath to serve this country, promising to protect our home and put the American people first. Seeing him stand up yesterday and speak the plain truth brings all that warm pride rushing right back. It is deeply personal for so many of us. Just recently, I heard a truly touching story about a sweet widow living in South Dakota. She shared a lovely memory of her late husband. She said he always believed that casting a vote should be just as simple and just as safe as showing your driver's license. Knowing that our president is working so hard to make her husband this dream come true brings a tear of joy to my eyes. And out in the Midwest, young parents are using this exact moment to teach their little ones that honesty is the most important thing in the world. They are inspired by a president who never wavers and never gives up. Because this truth was shared just yesterday, we are watching the amazing ripple effects spread all across our great land right now. Today, the good, hardworking people of this country are feeling more united and closer together than ever before. President Trump is showing us what bold, caring leadership really looks like. He does not shy away from the hard truths. He is telling leaders in Washington, like John Thune, that it is time to step up, stop delaying, and do the right thing for the people. He is demanding the very best for our elections, just like the leaders in India did for theirs. That is not just politics, that is pure love for your country. In the end, my friends, this is what real, true patriotism looks like. An elderly man like me can sit here in this chair today and feel so incredibly hopeful about tomorrow, all because we have a leader who simply refuses to quit. He speaks the truth, he asks for action, and he fights for every single American who believes in honest, safe elections. With the Save America Act lighting the path forward, and with our president leading the charge, we are on a beautiful road to making our election something we can all trust and cherish again. God bless President Trump. God bless this wonderful America First spirit, and God bless the United States of America. Keep the faith in your hearts, folks. We are winning. Well, my friends, the American spirit is still burning bright, and our future looks absolutely wonderful. If this little talk warmed your heart and gave you hope for our beautiful country, I would be so honored if you could hit that subscribe button, give this a big thumbs up, and share it with your friends and loved ones. Together, we can keep the American dream shining strong for our kids and grandkids. Thank you so much for stopping by to listen to an old man's stories, and may God bless you and your family today and always.